Alright. So, what we have here is a black-white sacrifice deck. I missed the draft portion, unfortunately, but from here on out, I will have the draft portion ready for everybody. So, I guess I'll go over a few of the synergies and reasons that I picked what I did. And unfortunately, I can't show you, what I picked these cards over or the order of anything, but like I said, next video. But without further ado, we've got, Azula on the Hunt as one of the best cards in our deck. We got 2 copies of her. She's going to be able to enable a lot of the sacrifice synergies and also just fill our hand with some cards. There's a few cards that care about drawing extra cards, like the Messenger Hawks. And then there's also a lot of cards that draw us extra cards. So the Messenger Hawks are going to be large kind of frequently, and our Pirate Peddlers are going to be picking up +1/+1 counters whenever we sacrifice clues or other creatures. We have a few cards that are decent fodder for sacrifice, and then we have good payoffs like June and Azula. The Beetlehead Merchants, I think, are pretty good too. But I haven't played much of this format yet, so realistically, this is just my first attempt at a black-white sacrifice deck. I don't know how good it'll be. We don't have a lot of interaction. We just have like a couple of removal spells in Sold Out and Path to Redemption, with a couple more things in the sideboard. We are playing best of 3, so if we really desperately need interaction, we can bring in more Airbending Lessons. And I really did like Airbending Lesson, and I'd like to put more copies, but we already have a million 3-drops, and I think that just having permanents that get bigger or draw us cards are going to overall be better. We just want to have all of our cards kind of work together and overwhelm our opponent with card advantage and synergies. So, without further ado, let's see if my game plan comes together. Alright, let's play first. Well, we don't have a 2-drop. We do have... Oh, this is a little awkward, to be honest. I'm going to mulligan and hope to have a better hand here. A little bit better. Maybe not much. Sokka into play here. Ooh, and immediately just throws our Sokka. Alright. I think it's kind of important to keep this removal spell for now. So, I'm gonna play Aang and just airbend the Earth Mist. Try to slow them down a little bit, mess with their mana, and just get some pressure. Alright, so we drew Sokka. Now, double Herbalist means they're going to be able to do a lot of basically whatever they want, probably. Sold Out's going to be important. Rider can attack through while Sokka can't. Sokka draws a card. You know what? Either way, we're going to attack with Aang. And we're going to get Sokka into play and try to start drawing cards with him. Maybe we can get a double block situation where sold out is profitable or something. Looks like Aang got dealt with watery grass. Alright. So, that's a little unfortunate. A little awkward that Aang got dealt with. I think we're just gonna have to play to the board. He has an ability where I can tap an ally I control, exile target card from a graveyard, and when he attacks, I can cast an ally spell from among the cards I own with this creature. So he can exile my own stuff from my graveyard and recast it, but right now we don't have anything going on. Just pass turn. This card gets +2/+2, and then airbends. It's a pretty good job. So this guy can be a 4/4 if I double block. I feel like how much mana? 6. I could get really blown out if he has if my opponent has kind of anything else. So I'm thinking I might just want to try to trade off for Iroh here. If I had mana for sold out, I would have probably blocked differently, but as it stands, I'll take the trade, and it looks like they're gonna play something else. I guess they can just do this. Yeah, water building this. Cast a non-creature spell, create a clue token. Okay, that guy is a problem. I'd like to just exile that creature, but I don't actually think that's where it's at right now. I could airbend Aang, but then I don't necessarily know what. I really don't want to leave either of these two creatures in play. I think I just have to get rid of the powerful card. I'm going to see if they let me through for 2 damage. Yep, makes sense. Alright, so if we leave this in play, that takes their whole turn. They get a 4/4 out of it. And a 2/2. I think we can just comfortably leave up our instance if I don't plan on playing Aang right this second. And also, airbending is non-land permanent. Maybe I do just exile this captives right now. Does not feel good that on 2-drop that he just plays another copy of right away. Oof. the plus one. Okay. Yep, it's not will at all. So if I airbend, I can get Aang back, and then Aang can airbend. This large creature stops not a whole lot. They emerge over there. So now their flyer is going to be bigger than Aang. Aang's going to have to airbend the counters off of that guy. I think we're going to need to just trade here and hopefully draw like a large creature. Azula's pretty good. Yeah, she stops everybody but the flyer. So we'll let the flyer hit us again. And then airbend Aang, and Aang will airbend our opponent just drew a million cards off of the new Ancestral Recall. Yeah, this game is not looking good. Their deck looks amazing. And we had kind of a rocky start. Pretty grim here. Can't attack or block unless there are 3 or more lessons, so there are. It adds mana. It's got vigilance and reach. Azula cannot block it effectively. I guess we could double block to try to kill it. Maybe they deck themselves. That so what it's looking like we might do with this airbending lesson is have to, we're gonna try to double block this lion turtle if they attack with it. Well, now double block. So, have to figure out a different plan. I don't actually think we have a way to win this game now. With the cards in our deck, we're just too far behind, and they've drawn a lot of cards. A game in dramatic fashion. So they had was a whole lot of good ramp into great cards. Their deck looks stellar. It was an embarrassing showing from our deck. But it does look like they've got a pretty large ground presence, and I'd like to bring in Canyon Crawler just to have a large creature to rumble with theirs. And we definitely are going to need all of our interaction. I don't know how good Airbending Lesson really is against their deck. They have a lot of Enters play effects. I think them discarding single cards is not like that interesting, although maybe Thought Seizing them could be. But let's see what we want to take out for the 6/6. So what wouldn't do well against well, a bunch of 2/3s and ramp? I mean, honestly, Sokka didn't seem very good. I think he's a good card in general, though. The Warden also makes sense to me. Just because I don't know if we're going to be able to get through sometimes. Like, I mean, that last game was pretty ridiculous. I don't know if we're going to win if it lines up like that again, but... you know what, we're just going to take the 6/6, and we'll take one Sokka out, and we'll try it that way. Three or more lessons in your graveyard. Got it. 3 or more lessons. And you're not interested in cycling. Hopefully we just get to cast a big old 6/6. Grand doing her thing already. Removal. This deck does not have almost any. So if we play a Hawk, we're not planning on sacrificing a clue. I think just get the 2/2 Death Toucher into play. It's a better threat. It's very good. Alright, so... on their turn without 5 mana. I guess they can still block Grand. Alright, so... Airbend my guy, I can recast him. That's not very exciting. I can just let it die. I think that's reasonable. And then I play one Peddler and leave up Airbending Lesson, or if I just play double Peddler, and if I can leave Airbending Lesson up with a Canyon Crawler in play, like, we're pretty stable. So I think I gotta hope that mess with this big guy, and then the following turn, I'll hopefully be able to protect it pretty well and stay stable. And we can get these Peddlers into play and start trying to blow them up a little bit and threats like that. Definitely in the defensive posture here, but hopefully we can stabilize with Pirate Peddlers. A couple of them in play would be even better. I might want to wait on this clue. I think I will. Okay, well, we're gonna have to see. Huh. For a 4/4 might be good. So I have a second copy. There, I think that seems decent. Okay, and then I can just... Okay. And they had two things. Well, I think airbending my guy is better because I get another food. He doesn't we got kind of blown out there, but so if I attack the Zula, she definitely gets traded with. I think that's probably worth it, though. I just really could use a card and... Yeah, you can even swap two lists. Yep. Not the best. Definitely, if I learned anything from this match, Rebellious Captives is a disgustingly good card. That thing just puts so much pressure. I still think I am pretty firmly on the defensive here. 4/4. So, I mean, we've seen the +2/+2 for 1 green. Trying to decide if I want to put my Beetlehead Merchants in front of it. Yeah, I think I will. And they're just gonna trade, most likely. Or I could... Does it say power? Mana value. Less than or equal to this. Alright, we're gonna block like this. They can choose. Yeah. So I get to regrow. I want the peddler before. Yeah, I like the peddler. So, and 3/6s are hard to attack through. I can attack with the 6/6, but then they have good attacks. I could attack with the beetle and make it need to get double blocked. Just basically trades the beetle for a 4/4, and I draw a card. I believe that's better than getting a card out of it. She can sacrifice another creature to create. Pretty big pirate peddler here. This card can waterbend 5 and look for small creatures from the top. That's quite good. I think we're gonna... Oh goodness, what's this? This taps a creature and stuns it for a turn. That's pretty good. Well, they're just gonna pay the mana. I don't want to tap any of my guys. We could take Sokka. I think just being able to sack this guy twice is better right now, though. Maybe it was right to play that land because I have the Water Card Rallier. This opponent's deck is quite good. You gotta find a way to start putting more pressure. That's a way. That's really good. So she can sack Poxbearers to start the turn off, I think. We might be able to just like blow them out with fancy footwork once pirate peddlers can untap. But man, this stuns for 2 turns. How long is it? Oh, for as long as you control tightly. So we're gonna have to fancy footwork if they attack us, which probably isn't gonna work out very well. But maybe we'll just tap it and end step. It doesn't feel very good. Oh, see? There, yep, alright. Ah. We just buried all of our removal spells that would have unlocked our 8/8. We can still unlock it. We can get 2 damage through, which I don't even know is right here, because they're at 23. They're kind of scared, but... Yeah, it almost would do us well to maybe attack with that canyon crawler. I think that's what we're going to do this next turn, is attack with the canyon crawler and make it look like we're a lot more vulnerable than we are. And hopefully fanciful are countered, because we're about all in that. Also gonna just pick up Aang here for several reasons, but the biggest reason is that it looks like I can't cast him, so it's the least suspicious. And I'm gonna attack for 6. They're either gonna chump it or take 6. It's a pretty suspicious attack, I think. Oh, they're gonna block it. I'm definitely gonna try to just tap my guy and save him. Alright. Things, they weren't that important, but definitely made our board a little better. And we do have an Aang in hand. We got our 8/8 untapped, so now it's a really good ground blocker forever, even if Ty Lee's in play. Shuffle it into my library. This guy should not have been tapped. Highly made that really bad. Alright, so I guess I could... Yeah, airbending. That doesn't work very well either. Yeah, that's a bummer. I lost my 8/8 to an airbend. You live and learn, though. It's one of the best ways to learn something in a new set is just get stuff by. Ty Lee is quite good. Alright, so... if I'm planning on waterbending, I should at least tap my 1, maybe 3. Okay, well at this point, I don't know if there's anything we can draw. There's the South Pole Villager. There's a hawk. Okay. We do have cards to get with the Rallier. Some things are starting to come together here. That was a blunder on that pirate, though. So I could just... I kind of feel like they're holding up a counterspell, so... let's see if they counter my hawk. I don't really think they didn't get priority, so it feels like they maybe don't have anything. If that's the case, The lion turtle and tower both in my way. Or Tio, I don't know how to say that name. I think we're gonna use June here to become unblockable, and I think we're gonna attack with some stuff. Can't really attack with too much stuff though, can we? Sokka. Yeah, her and Sokka, I think. Okay. I'll try to kill them. Both of them are kind of annoying. I think the flying creature is actually, like, more annoying right now, and more likely to kill me. So we got a little bit of damage through. We have 9 cards left in deck. We're gonna try to put some real pressure down here. I don't know if... Can't attack or block, like, okay, so do I just so now our flyers can finally start getting in. And Sokka would draw a free card. I don't think that's worth it. Okay, so go alright, we can't double block, right? 5 on Flopsy. And then we don't really have good blocks otherwise. I think I can just jump with this Water Tribe Relia. There's nothing else going on with her. So now Sokka can attack and draw the card that triggers both of those guys. So let's just get it. And this 2/2, I guess, can stay back. Very nice. Yeah. 3. Slamming his Zeal. Alright, we got game 2. A very long, drawn-out game 2 that I hunted a little bit because this thing should have at least been untapped. But you live, you learn, right? So they were just like out of cards too. So their deck is very good at getting card advantage on us, but it's not necessarily the best at dealing with our threats. It does gum up the board pretty well, though. So one of the cards I was considering sideboarding before was Vindictive Warden, and I think that after seeing that game, it's even more likely that I should put a card like that in. We also did see how good the 6/6 Death Touch was, because it stonewalled the board like we needed it to. I think we might want to be putting cards that are a little more impactful against this opponent than Sokka. Sokka was good at the end of that game, but we had a lot of different ways to trigger anyway. I kind of just want to add like another large thing to get through the board with, so I'm going to add another beetle, and also I think I want one more interactive card, so I'm going to put in, where are they? Yeah, an Airbending Lesson. Okay, adjust it a little bit. Well, it's not the best hand, but we do have a removal spell, and Aang is quite good. June is an awesome pickup because we really needed a 2-drop. Well, really needed kind of anything, and June's great. It'd be so nice to just be able to kill this thing right now. This doesn't kill it. So we can play a Rallier or a June. Probably more likely that June matters. Lost Days. I think we just want the spell. That would be nice. I guess that's the other card. Okay, so we got a 4/3 Waterbending, draw a card, and discard it. Waterbending 4, draw a card, discard a card on a 4/3 flying. That seems like a good common. So I can play June and Path to Redemption and hit for 2. I think I could even offer the trade, but they know how valuable this Paddler is. They might take it. So I'm gonna... I don't think we've seen much more of a threat in their deck. Like, that 4/3 is a big problem. So I'm gonna get rid of that, play there. And then I really might just exile that next turn, because I don't want to be drawing cards. Maybe not next turn, I don't know. That's a little scary. So, Paddlers can trade with the big guy. I can flicker the Herbalist to knock the counter off. Yeah, I actually am pretty okay with that trade. 5/5's pretty scary right now. Okie doke. Play this. Find something beautiful. So So we have 1 minute and 50 seconds left on our clock. Is that right? Oh no. I didn't know. No, that's not right. Oh, maybe it is. I don't know. I should have used June. It happens. Distracted by my clock. Like, did I get time warnings or anything? I feel like I didn't realize that at all. We gotta play quickly or we'll just lose. That's really bad. Yeah, so I haven't recorded videos ever, and I think I might have just taken a little bit too long talking, because I have 1 minute and 5 seconds on my timer, it looks like, and it looks like my opponent has 18 minutes left. Alright, so that's what the block is going to look like. Yeah, 15 seconds left. I might have to scrap this video. But maybe not. We'll just try our best. I think one game, like, my opponent was really close to decking and I didn't realize, and then this game, like, it snuck up on me. I didn't even see, like, a timer warning or anything, but I'm in dire straits here. I don't care. I literally have 1 second on my clock. Like, I need nothing to happen here. Oh my god, I got it. I had 0 seconds left on my freaking clock. Woo! Sorry for the swearing and the nonsense there, guys, but that was pretty intense. Cool. All right, I will do my best to be more mindful of my my clock, because that was ridiculous. That was a really difficult match, and our opponent had a very grindy deck, and I spent too much time trying to solve what to do instead of just playing. But like I said, it's my first video. It's tough to manage all of it, but that was exciting. I'm glad you guys are here to see it. All right, let's go. match 2. All right, we're here against Turd Ferguson, so let's see how that goes. Sokka's looking good. Okay, nice. Got some Pete peddlers to start doing their thing. Sokka gonna be able to attack? Most likely not. Wow, I did not realize that I was so low on time last game. Looks like a Golgari Rot Farm. Okay, that is a powerful. So if we attack with both, right? Like they probably block Toph on the 2-1. I draw a card, and I could use the buff spell to kill Toph and deal an extra 2 damage. So this is like draw a card, kill Toph, deal 2. I don't see bad blocks. Like if they double block Sokka, he still lives. It just looks like I'm trying to draw a card, I think. Okay. Gives him 6 toughness. So double blocking into a buff spell doesn't seem great. I think we can do more. Okay. We're just gonna get our Death Toucher in play and stop that 4-4. When it enters, you sack a permanent during your turn, create a 1/1 ally. Oh, create a 2/2 ally. Oof, oof, oof. Okie doke. We can at least airbend one of the allies away. So, trying to get a board where we can get some pressure, maybe some attacks with, at least one more attack with Sokka. White Lotus. That's quite good. So Azula does trade with basically anything. I guess I could flicker the 3/3 to kill it and then attack with Azula, but I also could just play like some number of these peddlers out before I attack with her and get a Get an extra counter on each. I could even just, like, trade her with the 3/3, but I think that's the worst of our options here. Let's just flicker that 3/3. I think I will not wait. I don't think it actually matters. So I just take the card. I can trade with the Merchant of Many Hats, which feels really good to them, I would imagine. But at this point, their board is pretty strong, and we just want to keep some power off of it. Keep our ability to attack. So Aang is pretty important. Hopefully they don't play a reach creature or a flyer or anything, because anything they play is probably going to be bigger than our stuff with double White Lotus reinforcements. Exile is quite nice. That thing having trample is rough. This guy gives trample, huh? Alright. So it looks like the 6/6 can attack through my 3/3 with some sort of advantage. Maybe I play a Peddler plus a June. If I attack with Sokka, I feel like I could break up the block pretty effectively with Sold Out. But I don't necessarily need the card right now. I think it's just attack, and then another that creature and non-land creature you control dies, Earthbend X, where X is its power. Okay. I think that's a perfect place for me to just, if I can soak 4 life here with a 2/1, I will. And actually, does this say Earthbend's X? Yeah, he's not going to put it on. I would imagine my opponent doesn't put it on the 6/6 there. If I could guarantee that they would, I would just trade off with that Badger Mole and then Sold Out the land creature. Alright, let's figure this out. I know I'm taking down the ability to Sold Out, but I'm hoping to that doesn't work. Okay, what do we gotta do here? Pressure is the name of the game, so we're gonna hit for 3. And we're gonna get this Messenger Hawk into play. And then the next turn, Aang plus Hawk plus June can all attack. And hopefully we can put some real pressure on this guy, or this person. So that's 3, 6, 8. If we could find 2 more damage. He's got 2, 4, 5. Yeah. Super good. Oh my goodness, it's really crazy when it's getting +2/+2 already. Good thing we have flyers, or this would be a nightmare for us. Feels quite good there. Okay. So if I sack a clue, it buffs both of those two. I could just Suicide Saka if I want the mana. That might be... Oh, and then I can sack him. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Alright, so... we're gonna attack with these. Saka triggers, and then makes this unblockable and this bigger. And then, like, you know, all of our threats. Okay, so they're playing around me having a removal spell. I just planned on sacrificing him. Let's counters on my guys. Clue. I just hit for a bunch. Oh, maybe not. We got something else. Okay, so they're at 2. I think the safest thing to do is just leave up my removal spell and pass. Right, let's take a look at the time. Am I doing terribly this time? 23:40. I can't believe I wasted so much time that first game. Okay, so likely what's going to have to happen here is either I exile the trample creature because it's so big, or I just, like, kill one of these guys. Maybe I should try to do it before. I don't know what protection spells there are. Okay, well, we're gonna just block there, block there. Oh, what do we want? Dead. I guess I just kind of want my stuff alive. This guy's already blocked, huh? I can't see what's... No. Like so. Yeah, so like that. So, like, it looks like I'm taking 4/10. Alright, I got it. Alright, large green things, allies, lots of good allies is what we're seeing. This deck looks sweet too. Just tons of earthbending, lots of synergy in their allies. One thing that I definitely note is, again, Airbending Lesson. It's one of our only cards that we can bring in to interact with, and we definitely would like to break up their what's it called? Their White Lotus reinforcements. If I can just, like, blink that out of play for a turn, it probably does some nonsense to them. Okay, so what do we want to take out? What's awkward against their deck? All the flyers are really good. Death Touch creatures are good. I don't think that guy's actually working out very well. Strangely enough, I think that card is one of the worst cards in our deck. Cool. This dude does make allies, but it's just not super relevant. Alright, I think that this is better. These are really the only ways we can interact with their ally board. Also, I suppose a giant 6/6 would be good, but peddlers hopefully can be that. that's not a good hand, so ship it. This could be kind of sweet. 1/1 on turn 2 is not exactly the most stellar. Alright, we're stacking up these lessons. Super attached to that guy, so I think we're just fine. So I could attack into them, he could double block. Actually, I'd really like it if I could trade with the captives. Opponent really giving us some consideration here. I think that Saka is a pretty threatening card to leave in play, so it's kind of enticing for them to be considering the trade here. I think that the card's so good though that me offering the trade kind of like makes them a little suspicious. Reasonably so. I'm less happy about that guy dying than the first guy. Footwork is awesome. I have to get a board situated. I don't really want to attack into 3 creatures. So now 6 mana makes that a... Is it 6 mana? Makes that a 4/4 and gives him a 2/2. It's quite good. If I attack with both, I think we have some pretty decent outcomes with fancy footwork, so between that and airbending lesson, I think it's okay to attack and just get a card. I think like buffing the captives pre-block and then blocking Saka and blocking with the land would have been decent. So we're leaving the captives out of it. So I could flicker one of his 2 cards. I could flicker the Pox Bearers and just kill this Cabbage Merchant, but the Cabbage Merchant can sack itself. So this is a pretty interesting little scenario, but I'd rather keep my my fancy footwork, and I really don't want Saka's. We're gonna airbend that guy out of combat. They actually let the Cabbage Merchant die instead. Whenever you sack a food, yeah, they could have sacked their food. Got our card out of it, and we got a card from them out of it too. So we're still going to be able to attack with everything, which is nice. Let's take the 4. is laterally strategizing for us. I'm very appreciative. So we can double trick here and kill the badger mole. Well, I guess we'd have to kill the land and then flicker the badger mole. And flickering the mole kind of sucks because then they get to earthbend again. Or I could just trade off with just the mole. Like, I don't really want to just trade off with it, though. So I think I am going to use both. Let him earthbend again. Earthbend again. Get that mole out of here for now. Yeah, I don't know exactly what... That almost makes me feel like they have the one green. You can see their army card. What were they waiting on? But we're gonna just double trick here and get the 4/4 out of the way, get the other 4/4 out of the way. Draw our extra card. We are losing the race. We're slowly running them out. I still think Sokka is more valuable than trading with their cards. Can we attack anyone effectively anymore? I might just trade now. So basically the next time Sokka attacks, he's just gonna suicide attack. And I don't really want to give this guy 4 damage, so I'm just gonna block like that. Alright. We get ourselves a Zeal, Hawk, and then the peddler next turn unimpeded. We can take like 4 from the badger mole. Get our pirate peddlers into play. Well, just waiting on our opponent here for a minute. Looks like we might be getting BM'd. Our opponent might just have, you know, disconnected as well. Our position's looking decent. The game's definitely not over though. Their attacks would likely be attack badger mole. Get our peddlers to get a counter. We're gonna draw a card. Trigger the hawk. I suppose we could have thought about the fact that Sokka was in our deck, and we might have left white open. Because that would be really nice to have a Sokka in play too now. Luckily, that only buffs the 3/2. That doesn't matter too much. We could have traded Poxbearers one way or another. happens plenty. Okay, so Azula gets to trade. It'd be nice to attack with Azula and Sokka together, so I think I might try to like fade removal on her for one more turn, and just get Sokka and Azula to both attack and get their triggers, and then just hit for a point. So next turn, Toils of War. Okay. It's gonna make a 2/2. I think attacking with Azula and with Sokka, like, that's gonna draw me 2 extra cards. I don't really feel like taking the point of damage. But I guess that's fine. Okay, so end step, I don't think I have a reason to fire off my removal spell. That's really nice. So the attack with Sokka, like, he can just get eaten by a 4/4. So it would basically be like, you know, I just cycled Sokka for 3 mana and got a 4/4 out of combat for a turn. If I attack with only Azula, she can get traded off with really easily. Both of them can kind of get traded off with really easily. If I kill the, like, exile the 3/1, it would be kind of good. What is this buffing, like, the 2 allies? Alright, what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna get the card out of Sokka. Okay, and that's kind of good too, because now I actually get to kill a 2/2. Do I want to get rid of the land? Yeah, I want to get rid of the land because I can airbend with several cards in my deck. So they took 3 damage. Get their land back. We're going to get to play a Hawk. And this needle-headed merchants would be able to trigger for the Hawk next turn. We already have a clue, though. I think just, like, leaving up removal is the safest play here. I can draw off of a clue if I really need to, but I'm just gonna leave that chilling for now. Okay, I'm gonna trade with the 3/1 and take a point. My 1/1 here. They're looking at 6 damage with the Messenger Hawk, so putting on pressure makes sense from their perspective, I think. I'll block there, and I suppose... Yeah, giving them a card doesn't really... It doesn't sound good to me. I think I'll block like that, and exile the 4/4. I just don't want to take the 4 damage, and that card does give Tremble's one way to have a game stolen. You know, they make that into a 2/2 trample this turn, and then maybe or something, I don't really know. Like I said, this is one of the first drafts I've played in the set, so I don't know everything that's going on yet at all. Drawing a card at the end step wasn't, that was just like an auto, like I just did it out of habit, but attacking with Azula still triggers what I needed to here. I think we just want to play this guy, so he gets the trigger. Then we're gonna attack with the 5/5 death touch is pretty good too, right? Maybe they're saying good game because they have the worst. But we do have. I will say they came in pretty handy. I'll even get to play Water Tribe Rallier and an Airbending Lesson. Die to some sort of weird shenanigans. So I think it's just like block there. Is this an ally? No. Block there, block. I can't block that. Block there. Pirate Peddlers have been quite good. Alright, so there's match number 2. Let's see if we can sweep the draft here. I will say that I kind of just feel like we should be playing like one more Airbending Lesson just in the main deck. I just don't really know what I want to cut for it. Oh, actually, like, this guy he's been pretty awful every time. I think that's a really good cut. Yeah. If we really need the third, we'll bring it in. Alright, this hand does not look keepable. This hand looks pretty good. I think we're just gonna toss this Beetlehead Merchants out of here. Alright. Start off with some turns. Saga would be really nice. Second free attack. And Zeal. Alright, Sokka starts it off. So that's a really good 2-3-4. Our opponent looks to be on at least Naya colors, maybe more. That's a unlucky cap Georgia right there. We're going to play her first, which allows us to sacrifice things if things go sideways. One thing to note on June is that she can sack on your turn, not just at sorcery. It makes it a lot more useful than she would normally appear to be. Like, normally abilities like that are either sorcery or not, and this one happens to say on your turn, so you can sacrifice your blockers, which is pretty nice. Or sacrifice your guys that get blocked, is what I mean. And this is really good too, because we just get to spend all 5 mana on putting more things into play. I could be playing face first into a Wrath. Like, I don't really know what the Wraths are, but this looks like an insane start. So if they don't have something like a Wrath, I think they're just pretty dead. You know, Sokka into Azula is just pretty gross. Alright, what did they just play there? Earthbending Lesson. Just make a 4/4. That's pretty good. Alright, so we can just attack with everybody, and this should be pretty miserable for our opponent. I guess I should have played the Scavengers first. Yeah, I wanted my mana open, but I think playing Scavengers would have been good. Okay, block Azula. I'm gonna buff Azula and the Hotspurs. And then they might have a buff spell of their own, which would be a little useful. Put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control, gains indestructible. Okay, I got it. Let's see if we can draw into a Airbending Lesson. Let's see if... Ooh, wow. Alright, well, Azula's still down. I guess we're gonna have to sacrifice Azula. And they'll take... I wonder if I should have... Yeah, wow. I missed lethal because I'm a silly guy. I could have just buffed a different creature. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Yeah, they definitely would have just died if I had tried to kill them. Note to self, don't miss lethal. That's never good. No, but realistically, it wasn't as simple as just missing lethal. Like, Fancy Footwork being able to completely diminish their board presence and save my card that draws more cards and just punish their position. I feel like even if they Wrath right here, we would be able to hopefully recover pretty well because of the clue tokens that we had picked up, and the presence of the Sold Out was pretty good too. Okay, so we're looking at hopefully just the final game of this tournament here. Let's focus in. I don't really know if we saw enough to like sideboard anything. I guess we do know that there's like likely going to be big green stuff, and big green stuff doesn't do the best against like large Death Touchers, but until I have a real reason, I think I'll just keep everything the way it is. Okay, we are going to keep. This is much riskier than the last one. If we draw a Swamp, playing this guy into Sokka would be great. Alright, no Swamp, a little scary. Can't attack or block unless you control another creature powerful or greater. And they don't. At least Sokka's going to slow those guys down. Play something that's 4 or larger. That's yeah. We just can't. 4. Oh no. Well, sometimes you get land screwed. And that is what's happening. Just take the damage. Oh man, it could have totally gotten there. Even just another land, like another plains, would have given us a lot more time. Tiger-Dillo. So now we know a lot more about what this guy's deck does, or this person's deck. That's pretty scary. I think that's too little too late here. I mean, maybe they will be scared to attack, but I think that's too little too late. Next turn, if we draw like another swamp, I guess we might be able to like play Peddlers plus Inspector. I just feel like all of it's pretty too little too late. Yeah. Yep. So now I got a chump block there, chump there, and maybe just die to like anything. I don't know. Raucous audience. Alright, so can we live now? Alright. Got beat up real bad by some Tiger-Dillos. Those things are nasty. So, yet again, a thing that would mess with a Tiger-Dillo is an airbending lesson. Things that can stop 4/3s is... Right, they're 4/3s. Can they block? Heck, or block. Alright, so the whole theme is pretty much going to be that, I would imagine. Maybe ripping a card with 4 or more power out of their hand would be good, but the Tiger-Dillos are gonna trigger each other. 3, 4. So basically, I think just my best bet is just bringing in like the 3/3s that I can, taking out like just 2/2s that are not very effective, or like what else we got? Yeah, we added a bunch. Like I think Sokkas, even though they draw cards, they're not going to be able to attack against those. At least Azula trades with it. And we'll cut like 1 Poxbearer maybe. I think I might cut one of those for one of those. These are good too. No, alright. Yeah, we just kind of fattened up the whole curve, just trying to hedge against these, the abundance of 4/3s. Oof. Well, that gets us black, so we'll keep. It's not exactly how we want it to go, but like maybe we just draw a swamp and don't need to cycle it, and then it's a big 6/6 for later. And that's really, we might need the 6/6s against this person. That's a mulligan of 5. If we can punish that, that would be amazing. So now what I think I'll do here is I'm trying to think of what's best here. Like I want to path that so that they can't exhaust. They won't be able to exhaust at any point here. Like I'm gonna path a large creature if they end up playing it. And I love that they're attacking. So now we both Zeal. Okay. Let's Azula can sacrifice the Inspector. Well, she doesn't need to, though. I think we can just attack with everybody. We'll be in a really good spot here. So, everybody goes. Oh, I just let Azula trade off. That's a little unfortunate. But I don't think I would have, like, necessarily done that on purpose, but I'm very okay with it happening like that. Alright. They're at 10 and we have some good pressure. We also do have that canyon crawler that we sided in, which is a large creature. Azula's going to be able to trigger the hawk, so I can use the clue at end step, which is nice. So I would imagine they're going to try to trade with Azula, so this might be a good turn to just, like, pacify a creature. They've got a lightning strike for her. Okay, so she's down. Not cool. Can regroup with... That lightning strike was really disappointing. Azula getting to draw a card there would trigger the hawk a lot more. Oh, now their own Azula, huh? Whenever you cast a spell while she is attacking, copy that spell. Oh my goodness. So now... have to ally you control, exile a card from graveyard. No allies. Alright. Yeah, I'll definitely attack like that. And get my clue and trade. That's quite good, I think. And then I guess, are there any allies? We just looked. No. Nice. So Zuko and Azula, that's pretty cool from our opponent. Fire Lord Azula, right next to Zuko Exiled Prince, for the last two things they did. That's awesome. Props to our opponents. They played well. I feel like I made several mistakes over the course of this draft, but overall I'm happy how the very first one went. I'm glad to have been able to showcase why sideboarding is important and actually show you that a lot of my sideboarding choices impacted our victories, right? Like several times this canyon crawler came into play and was important. I also ended up siding out this Boiling Rock Rioter for Airbending Lesson at one point, just like as a main deck choice. I think the Airbending Lesson was just a better card for our deck. We didn't have really any ally synergies except for like a couple of, small guys, and I think there's, Sokka as well. There's probably a few allies in the deck, but it just didn't feel like an ally deck, and it definitely didn't play like an ally deck. It was pretty reliant on just chilling out with these pirate peddlers and finding ways to draw extra cards while those peddlers grew. It was sweet to see the deck play out how we designed it. Just picked up some good payoffs, some really good cards that enable everything. With like Azula being able to make clues and then sacrifice them. She draws you more cards. She's one of the best cards in the deck for sure. Sokka a couple times ran away with a game just by us being able to like airbending lesson or fancy footwork a couple of weird blocks out of the way, and he ended up drawing 2 or 3 cards. And a lot of the time, he could also just suicide himself to trigger effects like Messenger Hawk or June to get in extra damage. And just the combination of all of the evasion that we ended up having in the deck ended up allowing us to overcome some really powerful board states, and we played against a lot of powerful green cards and showcased that flying, as always, it's important, and also showcased that you don't necessarily need a pile of removal to win a draft. Thanks so much for watching. I had a great time, and I hope you guys did too.